guys, True Knight here. So, I wanted to make something new kind of going forward, and I think I'm going to do it probably like weekly. Kind of as my way to just kind of have a few minutes to myself and make a video and do something cool. Probably a once a week update. So that is a meta tier list. I got some decent views on it, the last one I made, and people gave some positive feedback on it and actually asked me to do a couple other insights into other decks. So I wanted to give my input on these. So here we go. This is for May 28th, and then the next one will probably be the 4th or 5th of June, and we'll just kind of go from there and see how it does. So, starting out, Goaty. I wouldn't I wouldn't play this. Here's the, by the way, so sorry, here's the rankings I give each of these. This is the kind of decks that I see them as, is YCS Caliber winners, regional caliber, locals only, and then I just wouldn't play these right now. Obviously, if I see you as a YCS pro deck profile, you could probably, or most likely would win any of these. So yeah. Ice Barrier, I see you as definitely a locals deck. Probably wouldn't take you to regional or YCS. Just don't take you seriously enough net, and enough hasn't changed in the metagame. There's way too many hand traps that can just stop you dead in your tracks. Salamangreat, same thing. It's a fun locals deck, which most of the decks that I play are considered just locals decks, but I don't really see it being much higher caliber or really competing at a regional, and definitely not a YCS. Ryzel, of course, you're one of the big juggernauts on the room. I think that Ryzel is definitely on pace to win even more YCSs, and I'm really excited to see how it does post Justice Hunters with like the Yummies and Draco Tail and the new Vanquish Soul and all that stuff. A Fiendsmith deck. This is just purely like Fiendsmith by itself. I think it's a YCS caliber deck. It just has enough room for too much non-engine, and the recursion the deck brings is just crazy. Sorzel, I would just stick to locals. I think it's just too linear. There's not enough help in the game with it yet. A lot of stuff needs to happen for Sword Soul to be considered, I think, a worthy opponent. It's just not there right now. My first regional deck I would consider is Runic. I think Runic has the ability to not only take down a lot, like several locals, but can easily go to a regional and place in the top. Its stun that it offers is just too much for some decks, especially if you catch opponents off guard and everything. So, Bell, I think that you are definitely a strong regional candidate. I don't see it as a YCS caliber deck right now. My last list I had, I did see it as a YCS caliber deck. The reason I'm not seeing it is because things like Mitsurugi, things like Malice, they just don't care about what Bell does for setup. So it's really hard to consider it that level of deck right now. So, Chickens or Fire King, I think you're definitely, I mean, you've proven yourself time and time again in the past few months. You're definitely right there. Should be considered among the top tier. It's the highest rated deck that I play. Even higher than pure Ryzel. I would consider it better than pure Ryzel, but not as good as Mitsurugi Ryzel. So that's just my opinions. Primite, again, one of the top dogs in the room right now. Primite is only going to get stronger with the Dark Magician support, but definitely Primite by itself, or I've seen Primite, it's crazy, I've seen Primite Fiendsmith, I've seen Primite Blue Eyes, and definitely with the Dark Magician stuff getting ready to come out soon, it's still a heavy contender. Infernoble, definitely, I want to put it in, I wouldn't, but I could definitely see somebody going to locals with it and catching everybody else off guard, and for sure taking it down. So definitely it's a combo deck and anything's possible. Blue, please God, just stay at locals, don't go anywhere above that. Like, it's just so degenerate. I hate that deck, and I'm sick of seeing it, but it's still in there as a locals competitor. It's one of those like funny deck archetypes that just sticks around and is annoying, but definitely could see it taken there. Centurion. I think Centurion is a regional caliber deck. I know a lot of people crap on it because it just can't keep up with like Ryzel and Malice, but not a lot can. So you just got to kind of decide, like, am I going to try and ultimately win, take first place, then I'm trying to play Ryzel and Mitsurugi, or am I playing Fire King or something like that? But if I'm trying to go have a good time, you play Malice, you play things like Centurion, you play other deck archetypes, like, just to place good in tournament, and I think that Centurion definitely could do that at regional. Kriston, this was a guy reached out to me and said, hey True, my deck has been tearing it up recently and you didn't even mention it in the last list. I'm sorry, I didn't even bring it up, and I should have. My bad, man. Anyway, Kriston is definitely one of the top tier decks in the game right now. Cyberdragon Infinity is a menace, even today's game. And if you can get to that point and set it up, you're just fine in any matchup. So I really enjoy the deck. I enjoy watching what it does. I don't want to play it, but I enjoy watching what it does. And I think it's definitely one of the top tier decks in the game right now. So, Mermail, I think you're definitely also a YCS competitor. I think Mermail players definitely, even though you're missing the totally awesome trick that you could do with your deck, I think that it's just fine going second, and it's a strong deck. So yeah, Manadium, I would stick to locals right now, man. I think Manadium players are kind of coping if they try and take it to a regional or YCS. It's just too susceptible to hand traps. Nibiru is still a thing. Droll is like heavily prevalent right now in the game, and Droll just takes a crap on this deck, so gotta think about that. Mitsurugi, anything right now is very viable to win a YCS. I've seen all kinds of crazy Mitsurugi YCS decks. It's true, it's kind of like the new Fiendsmith engine, where you could just throw a Mitsurugi engine into your deck and it's your duct tape or your glue. So yeah, White Forest, oh my gosh, there's so many YCS competitors, which I didn't give it enough credit last list. I had a lot of these in just regional only, but a lot of these are actually YCS contenders. And White Forest is another one of them. It can definitely take down a YCS if it has a great day. I've seen it take down multiple regionals, and it's the deck that just keeps on going, man. So yeah. Rescue Ace, stick to locals, man. Just right now, it's kind of like the way that most fire decks are in right now, except for unless you're Fire King. I definitely put it personally at like the top of locals, almost borderline regional. I just wouldn't consider it strong enough to take on a YCS. Let's see here. Snake Eye. I think Snake Eye and these guys kind of go hand in hand, so I'll put one here, one here. I think Snake Eye can compete at a regional level. I've seen it, and I think there are deck builds out there that have Fiendsmith, right, or Fiendsmith, Snake Eye, Fire King, and people just aren't leaking the goo, because I've been trying to solve it for a few weeks now. But I think there are deck lists out there that have those three engines that are really competing very well. So keep an eye on that. Blue Eyes in its pure form, I think, is a regional at best deck. The reason I say that is because it does everything that Voiceless does, just better. And Voiceless with Ryzel is actually, I don't know if you guys have watched lately, is taking down regionals. So I think pure Blue Eyes by itself, or like Blue Eyes Invoked, Blue Eye Bestial, Blue Eyes, things like that, can compete at a regional level. I would just say that Blue Eyes needs to have Primite in it to compete at a YCS level, if that makes sense. Tearlament, bam, regional deck right there. I want to put it in YCS caliber because I think it is, just nobody's got the balls to play it, and I don't play it because I don't like it, but I think that a good Tearlament player could put together a list and go on a tear at a YCS. It's just we haven't seen it yet. Branded, man, stick to regionals. I just don't think you're ready for the YCS right now. There's just too much non-engine in the game right now, and you can't have a deck that is all engine. And I say that knowing Vanquish Soul is coming out, and in the OCG, I've seen constant Vanquish Soul lists winning that only play 6 non-engine. But I think in today's game, you need like 12 to 15 non-engine in order to compete in your deck. Definitely a YCS caliber deck right now is Labyrinth, anybody who wants to say no to that, check out any of the recent YCSs we've had in the past month or two. Even post-ban list, Labyrinth either sneaks into the top cut, or it's right there in the top, like, 50. So, yeah. Vanquish Soul, right now you are a locals deck. Talk to me, when the next set comes out and we get the new Vanquish Soul support, we'll probably be putting it at a regional, and then once K9 comes out, it's going to be the best deck in the game. But right now, I would just stick to locals, especially if you're new to the deck. Use locals to learn your resourcing with the deck, how to manage all of your resources with the deck and the combos, because when K9 comes out, you need to be on top of your game as far as resource management with that deck. Malice, you're a YCS contender. Yes, you're not the big bad that everybody thought you were going to be. Never have been. And until it proves itself and actually wins something, it's kind of a deck that I just look at and say, oh, you were just almost there this whole time. So, yeah. Kashtira, I think, is definitely a top dog in regionals. I think it's very, very strong and viable even in today's game. The Kashtiras themselves will just eat up non-engine like crazy. But yeah, very strong. Voiceless, I want to put you in YCS caliber so bad because you have won like 2 regionals in the past 2 months. But the reason you've won it is because you also play the Ryzel engine. So Ryzel Voiceless Voice is a YCS caliber deck. By itself, Voiceless stick to regionals. But that's all I can say right now. It's one of my favorite decks in the whole game in the past like 4 years. I love Voiceless Voice. I've been messing around with it with Voiceless Voice Ryzel, but pure Voiceless Voice, which I want to work, would be considered a regional deck. And then Memento, of course, you are definitely a YCS caliber deck. Very strong, very combo oriented, but you play more on your opponent's turn than you do your own turn, which makes you strong in any facet of the game, especially in today's day and age. So your job, guys, in the comments below is tell me what decks I've left out, tell me what decks you want me to incorporate in this list, and we'll do another one next week. But this is where I see the game right now as of the end of May. Who knows, the game changes weekly like all the big players say. It's kind of like Pokemon and Magic the Gathering right now. Like, we all prepare for the big bad in the room in 1 week, and then the next week we prepare for a new big bad. Or somebody comes out with like sales ban is crazy, or hey, play this in your deck, play that in your deck, and we all just gravitate towards those things week by week. Because what kind of sucks and what's cool about this player base, it's cool, but it sucks. Y'all figure out the format before it comes out. So by the time these new cards always come out, it's like, oh, I already know what's the best. Which kind of sucks. I'd rather it come out and then we slowly, like, as a community, over a couple of months figure it out. But that's not the day and age we live in. You guys are... Most of you big name players right now have already been testing Vanquish Soul K9 for the past like month. So when it comes out in 2 months and a guy like me goes and picks it up and I'm sitting there reading the card, you're going to be like, come on man, I've been playing this for 3 months. Like, that's just the day and age we live in. So, but as it stands this current week in the game, from what I've seen, locals reports, nationals reports, and regional reports, this is what it's looking like pretty heavily. So that'll be it for me today, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. It goes a long way with the channel. If you guys like this kind of thing that I'll be doing weekly, please let me know and give it a view. Tell your friends to watch it. Chime in with your decks that you say, hey, True, I'm tearing it up with this deck the past like month, and I'll research it. I'll do YouTube research, check on it. I'm not going to add a deck on here unless I do the research and say, oh yeah, wait, it is actually topping and I just missed out on it. So anyway, that'll be it for me, guys. Please be kind, be respectful, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.